All right, so by now you already know that the Rode Streamer X has been released and we've got our hands on one. Go ahead and check the info card either here or there so you can see my my previous video relating to the unboxing, my initial impressions and initial review and all of that jazz. I'll also link it down in the description. But this video in particular, I'm gonna show you how we get the Rode Streamer X set up, how I'm gonna get that set up personally with my Mac Mini M2 Pro, and then how I'm gonna get that set up and run that through Ecamm Live. We'll be using Rode Central. Just keep in mind the Unify beta software for Mac has not been released yet, so I won't be able to give you a peek at what that looks like, but I'm going to show you what this looks like when we actually go inside of Rode Central. So let's go ahead and jump over the desktop so I can see how we got things set up. So right now you're looking at a clean copy of my desktop. Something that I do want to just make you aware of, when I did first plug in my unit, I got the keyboard assistant that popped up, and I'm thinking one of the reasons is that I think there's some internal software that combines with the MIDI capabilities. This is kind of a pseudo version of a Stream Deck as well, because with the pads, you're able to do some MIDI controls, which is basically just keyboard shortcuts, kind of like the Stream Deck does. So you can kind of do the same thing with the Streamer X as well. Of course, there's no way to really set that up, especially not right now. So I don't know if that's something that's going to continue, but if for any reason you do see that when you set yours up, just quit it. All right. And then the next thing you want to make sure that you do is open up the Rode Central app. Now, one of the things I will tell you, I kind of cheated because I was recording this through the Rodecaster Pro 2. And one of the messages that you get as soon as you open up Rode Central is that you have both devices plugged up. And so you're only going to be able to use one at one time. Now, I thought that if I went in and actually just updated the software on the Streamer X, that would fix the issue. But even after updating it, it still did not show up as an option. So I actually had to disconnect the Rodecaster Pro 2. I'm actually recording this directly into the Rode Pod Mic USB, using the USB instead of the XLR through the Rodecaster Pro 2. And so that's what we're working with now. So more than likely, you can see here in Rode Central, you see my Pod Mic USB there. Rode Streamer X pops up. Now, one thing I will tell you right out of the box, I believe the software is 1.0. Is 1.0.1 or something like that. But anyway, it's probably not going to show up at first. What you need to do is click over here on this cogwheel and then go to available firmware. And then you're going to see an option there for Streamer X. It's going to need to be updated. So go ahead, get the application updated, and then after that, it should be showing up. So let's go back over here and click on the Streamer X, and then you see we have all of these options available to us. So I think this is dope. I think this is dope what Rode has done. Kind of a simple, like I said, they're simplifying all of the streaming options, just giving you something right out of the box. So we got quick setup, and this is what you're looking at is kind of like all of your opportunities for mix minus. So if you're familiar with the Rodecaster or the Rodecaster Pro 2, or if you're lucky enough to already have a Rodecaster Duo, then you understand what these symbols mean. So again, here we have the microphone symbol, we have the sound pads, you have the HDMI, you have the USB 1 and the USB 2. And remember, your USB is both input and output. So basically what this is saying for quick setup, if you're not familiar with all the controls, and it's just saying, hey, what do you want to do? If you want to stream, then we're going to leave all of these active because we want to make sure that we're capturing. So this first line is capturing all of the audio. And then the second line, which is for headphones, you want to be able to monitor all of your audio. So if I was to go to presentation, you're going to see that this does change. So during the presentation, it's actually going to turn off the sound pads because the reason is I need those to actually control the presentation with. And if you want to leave those on, you can leave those on. Just FYI, if you do turn them off, they actually turn white instead of the colors that they are. Same thing with the video call. It's going to disconnect the HDMI. It's going to disconnect the capture of USB 1, but you still will be able to monitor it. So basically it creates kind of like this mix minus. So you're not getting weird feedback and your caller is not hearing themselves when they're talking to you. And then if you're a gamer, it does the same thing. Now, one thing I will say, some people don't like capturing they want to monitor it, but they don't want to capture their gameplay. I do. So I would actually customize this and actually say, turn this on. And so if you hit custom, so again, if you hit custom, it's going to bring up the option again, to clear, if I do hit streaming, it's going to clear my current settings. All right, so the same thing on the previous window. It's going to show you this here in the quick setup, but if I was to actually go into audio setup, I'm going to get the same thing. So streaming, you know, you can see here, all of this is going to change. All right. And then if I want to do it differently, and this is if I was using a headset or something like that, I would actually click this button. So let's say I wanted the capture to be here, but I wanted to turn down how much I was monitoring it. You would do it like that. So I think that's one of the dope things. Now in Rode Unify, you actually, in the Unify software, you actually get a visual representation like with faders, you know. So again, I'm not sure why Rode Central, Rode is so far behind when it comes to that, but I would like to see them change that. So let's say, for instance, I'm going to be using this for gaming. All right. So anytime I go to something else, it's going to clear the current custom mixer settings. And this is definitely an update that I would like to see Rode. If I do something custom, what this tells me is that every single time that I go to make a change, it's not going to save. For those of us who have some pretty intricate setups, you know, with the way we want to hear things like sub mixes, and if you're running Discord, chat, gameplay, all these different types of things, this sucks.
It really, really sucks.
This is a huge turnoff. Now I'm hoping in the Unify software that that's not the case, but Rode, I don't get it. Again, with Rode Central, this is definitely something that needs to be fixed ASAP. We need the ability to save custom mix options. So click continue. Again, I'm going to go over here to gaming. So again, like I said, disregard this for right now. This is actually, it's because I have it active on the Rode Streamer X. So what I want to do, and I can go in here and do all the audio setup or whatever. But what I want to do, if I click on the option, this wheel, if I click on this first wheel on the physical wheel on the Rode Streamer X, it's going to select the mic. So even though I don't have the mic selected right now, this is what I would be using. So more than likely, again, I'm going to plug up the Rode pod mic USB, go XLR into the Rode Streamer X. So I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave this the same for right now. All right. And then if I go over here to the sound pads, I already know I don't want that to be super loud. So my sound pads and my effects, I'm probably going to pull down about 1/4 of the way. HDMI gameplay, you can see I've already unlinked these. So I want my gameplay to be probably roughly about same where the effects are. So actually, let me just link that so they can stay the same. USB 1, again, I don't necessarily want to capture, I don't want to capture that, but I do want to monitor. Well, actually, no, I take that back because it depends on how I have the Discord chat set up. It depends on USB 1 would technically be considered my system audio. So I actually do, if I run Discord back into my stream. I run Discord back into my stream. Like I capture it. Sometimes I do it with Zoom. So I would actually do the same thing here. So pretty much I would keep that for my specific setup. I would keep this all the same. I would keep this all the same because this is similar to the way that I have it on my Rodecaster Pro 2. Now, another thing that's a little disappointing is that I don't get a virtual channel. This is one thing that's a little disheartening with Rode Central. I know I'm doing a lot of complaining about some first world problems, but I don't get a virtual channel with this setup. I get my microphone here. I get my sound pads here. I get the HDMI, and then I get the USB 1 and the USB 2, which is cool, but I don't get a virtual channel. And that's kind of weird because, again, I get virtual channels with the Rodecaster Pro 2. And I know this is not meant to be an actual Rodecaster Pro 2, but the whole point is with Unify, I know I'm going to be able to get some virtual channels. I don't understand why I can't do that with the Streamer X. So again, that's the audio setup. We go into device configuration. This is just going to, you know, change the brightness of the buttons or whatever. And then we go into customize smart pads. Your Streamer X will be placed in the transfer mode. And then this is when we can actually change some things, you know, so we can actually change it if we want to do the sound effects, you want to do the FX, your voice effects, your mixer options, and then the MIDI. So you got the air horn right there. This is the voice effect. You know, you can actually change. We got the sensor button, and then you got the voice disguise button. All right. So you can change the color. I can switch this out, you know, if I want it to be something else instead of that. I can change this out if I want it to be something else instead of that. The sensor button, of course. I can either change this to the fade in, fade out, or I can change this to ducking. And again, if you want to know, this is not meant to be a full out in-depth tutorial of what all of these things mean, fade out, ducking, and all of that. I'll be making some more content, but if you have a specific question about that, definitely drop that down in the comments. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Like, Rode Central is okay. You know, you get this. But again, as I was saying in my initial video, one of the cons that I have with the Streamer X is that out of the box, yeah, it does work somewhat after you do the update, but I don't really have any options or customizable options for how I was doing my show. So that's why I was saying it's going to be weird. This won't necessarily be able to replace my Rodecaster Pro 2 until I get Unify. Once I get Unify, then this will be able to replace my Rodecaster Pro 2. But let's jump back over into Ecamm, and I'm gonna show you simply how I would get this set up with Ecamm. I'm actually going to take my camera, and I'm actually going to get that plugged in. I'm gonna connect it directly to the Rode Streamer X, and then I'm going to take the microphone and plug that directly into the Rode Streamer X. And then for the rest of this video, I will be doing everything specifically from the Rode Streamer X inside of Ecamm Live. All right, so let's jump over back into Ecamm. All right, so now I am over in Ecamm Live. I'm currently in live demo mode for those of you who have no clue what's going on right now. You see everything that's happening on my desktop. So I have my Sony ZV-E10 is now connected. Before it was connected in the Cam Link when the video started. Now we're going directly into the Rode Streamer X. The Rode Pod Mic USB was in the Rodecaster Pro 2, and then it was in the USB when we started. Now it's going directly into the Streamer X. So you can see over here in the top corner, we have our sound levels. You can see I get two options for the Streamer X. I can either get Streamer X main or Streamer X HDMI. Of course, that HDMI would come from my camera. Now, if I had a microphone connected to my camera, like the Rode Video Mic NTG, a Rode Video Mic Go, and I had that boomed over my head, and I didn't want to necessarily use the setup, hey, that's an option, and I can get the audio directly from the microphone. But for this purposes, we're actually using main. That's a quick pro tip how you can get another microphone source. And like I said, with Rode Central, you won't be able to use them all at the same time. The idea is that when Unify for Mac comes out, you should be able to use all of your microphone sources on the Rode Streamer X at the same time. So you can use something like the Pod Mic, you can use a headset, and you can use something like the Rode Wireless Me or Wireless Go 2 at the same time. But we have the audio selected. You can see from my camera source over here. All right, we have the camera that says Streamer X. If I go over here, you see my options there, camera A, B, C. I have all of that labeled, but Streamer X is the camera. We still have the ability to control, you know, all of our, you know, zoom and pan if I want to tighten up and kind of get some picture settings. Of course, I have something set for the Rode, for the Elgato Cam Link 4K. So I'm going to need to create another separate profile specifically. So it'll save this look, it'll save my camera effects for the Streamer X whenever I decide to do that. Now, one thing I didn't show you specifically when I was in Rode Central that I do want to show you now, because I have switched the mic over to the Rode Streamer X, you do want to get control over your audio. So what you want to do is make sure you go back into audio setup, and then I'm on this particular mic. So I'm going to click the cog wheel here, and then this is going to allow me to change my level. So the actual knob on the Rode Streamer X, you know, it does, you know, correspond with the software. So you can see that right there. If you're using the condenser mic and you need phantom power, you can either do it on the back of the unit, or you can click it right here in the software. Or if you're doing a line in instead of a mic, you can actually click that. And then you have all of your processing over here. One of the things that I would love to see them update that's on the Rodecaster Pro 2 and the Rodecaster Duo is just the presets. Like I'm in love with the broadcast preset that's on my Rodecaster Pro 2, and that's not available. Now again, I have all of my advanced processing. Ooh, cancel that. I have all of my advanced processing, so I can go in and change everything. Like I actually, you know, deactivate it, activate it, deactivate it, activate it. I don't know. You know, de-esser, noise gate, compressor, equalizer, exciter. You have the panning, and then going back over here to the exciter, you have your big bottom and your oral exciter. Again, if you're interested in what any of these effects do, drop something down in the comments. We can go over that. And I'll definitely be making some other content videos later. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how I have everything set up, how I have everything routed. Now, again, you know, my disappointment is that when I go over here, you know, to my device configurations or whatever, that I'm going to be in a world of trouble, you know? Why is this not letting me out? Let's go back. Streamer X. It's weird. Like if I don't want to go in the quick setup. Okay. I guess you have to go back to audio setup. That's weird. Streamer X. Audio setup. Okay, yeah. So if I was to go again to gaming, and so like I said, I would pretty much leave everything like it is minus the HDMI. I'm gonna pull that up because I want to capture that. Now in this case, I have my camera plugged up, so I really don't want to capture that inside of the stream. And as a matter of fact, let me pull that back down. I really don't want to capture that as part of the stream. But when I have my PS5 plugged up, and I'm gonna have another video coming out specifically relating to how I actually get that set up, then yeah, I want to capture my gameplay. And again, this is cool. It's just not a good visual representation of how to get things set up. I wish I really could show you guys what the Unify. Actually, here's a screenshot. Here's a screenshot or some screenplay of what you can expect Unify to actually look like. And you can see that, you see there's a visual representation. Like that's so much easier. Again, I guess Rode is putting all of their eggs into that basket, you know? And like I said, if you're gonna do that, let's just get one app. Get rid of Rode Connect, get rid of Rode Central, just do Unify, and all of the management. If you want to podcast, if you want to transfer, if you want to update, if you want to configure it, let's do it all in one app instead of having all of these multiple apps. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like the Rode Streamer X is, you know, as you see on the software, it is a plug and play device. It's not really too complicated for those of you who just want to say, hey, I want a microphone I want an audio capture device, like an interface, you know, and I want a 4K capture device. Let's plug it in. And let's get it going, you know, and get everything taken care of. But outside of that, once you get into the configurations like this, this is where you really start to unleash the power, you know. And just so you can see, make sure if we customize the smart pads. All right, so you can see exactly what we have going on. So if I click this first one, all right, it's kind of loud. That's the air horn. I'm gonna click this next one over here.
And so my voice is actually going to change. So the thing is, you can do this specifically from the software, or you can actually do this from the hardware. I actually want to change this to disguise.
All right, and so now my voice is very, very deep. But let's go over here to Robot, because we know that AI is taking over the world. And so now
I sound like Tesla. I sound like Tesla.
I'm just gonna go over here back to the pitch. But as a matter of fact, yeah,
let's turn that off. Okay, that's enough of that. And then, you know, you got the censor button, you know, just in case, you know, I'm saying a bad word, you know, and I need for somebody to of, and you know, and I'm running my mouth and somebody just ticks me off and makes me mad, and I need to let them know that I don't like the way they, you know, so we know how that goes. And that's pretty much it. Like, that's pretty much it. You have the MIDI. I'm not going to necessarily get into that because we're going to get in trouble with all of that configuration. So we'll do another video about that. And like I said, you have, no, I don't want to overwrite the pad. See, I'm doing too much, y'all. No, I don't want to overwrite the pad. See, I'm doing too much. Let me get out of here. But yeah, like that's pretty much it. That's the Streamer X in a nutshell. That is the Streamer X pretty much in a nutshell. And you let me know, you know what I'm saying? Have you already got one? Have you got it set up? Have you run into any issues? I haven't run into any issues. You know, like I said, I plugged it up. I updated it. You know, I showed you guys what happened when I actually updated it, and it worked from there. So like I said, it's a straightforward device, but again, until I get my hands on Unify, there's not too much I'm gonna be able to do other than just showing you, you know, I can actually kill my video signal directly here from the unit. If I press the video button, I can also mute myself. You know, so yeah, you all just actually see me running my mouth, but nothing was coming out. And again, I can control the volume from here, the input volume, and then I can control, you know, the volume of how I monitor in my headphones. But other than that, that's pretty much it. You know, hopefully you got some type of value, unless you just wanted to watch along and see what was going on. But yeah, let's collaborate. Let me know, you know, if you have any questions, drop those down in the comments. But do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and while you're at it, go ahead and click that bell so you can be notified every single time I post more Streamer X content to the channel. But until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next video.
H2O!